In the escape room, 6 strangers are trapped in a deadly game, solving puzzles to survive. Uncovering a sinister plot, their fight for life blurs reality and the game, with every move deciding their fate. In an old room, someone drops in and rushes to a number puzzle, needing a 4-digit code. A moving wall triggers panic as they scramble for clues. He deciphers a clue from paintings, but the code he enters fails. Panic sets in as the wall advances, and in despair, he realizes there's no escape. His leg is crushed under the relentless force. 3 days earlier, Zoe walked to school. A motorcycle roars into a business area. Inside his office, Jason closes a business deal over the phone. Ben is labeling groceries when his boss arrives. Ben requests a new job position, but his boss refuses, urging him to quit drinking if he wants to progress further. Back at Jason's office, a mysterious black box arrives for him. It's difficult to open. Jason assumes it's from his client. Zoe tries to calm herself when she notices her mirror shaking, then wakes from a nightmare. Her roommate checks on her. Before leaving for the holidays, the roommate finds a package addressed to Zoe from her professor. Inside, there's the same black box. Ben finds a black box at work and struggles to open it. Zoe quickly figures it out, while Jason watches YouTube tutorials. Eventually, they all succeed, and a piece of paper emerges from the box. The voucher reveals a chance to win $10,000 in a Minus escape room. The next day, Ben waits outside the Minus building, smoking. Amanda arrives, and they enter the building. Amanda hands her ID and phone to the guard and heads for the elevator. Ben thanks her for her military service. Danny joins them in the elevator at the last minute. Danny sneaks in his phone. Amanda enters the waiting room where Mike, Jason, and Zoe are waiting. She joins the others. Danny follows while Mike rants about a childhood pet with heterochromia. Jason and Danny discuss Jason's scar. Amanda finds Zoe familiar. Ben enters, greeting everyone. Amanda reads about a fire, getting anxious. Danny reveals he's been to 93 escape rooms before. Now, as they talk and wait for the game's master to come and guide them to the escape room, Ben stands to smoke, but the doorknob breaks when he touches it. Mike attempts to fix it, but Danny suggests they're already in the escape room. Danny inspects the oven dial, suspecting it's a combination lock. He urges everyone to search for clues in the room. Zoe notices an airplane mug, while Amanda finds the name Dr. Wooten, suspecting it's a clue. Mike discovers a screwdriver hidden in Fahrenheit 451. Zoe uses 451 as the combination, and the ceiling starts glowing red. They realize the red glow is actual heat. Zoe attempts to turn off the dial, but it's stuck. Danny suggests asking for a hint, so Amanda heads to the reception. Jason spots a globe with a boat, momentarily puzzled, then notices the lock on the window. Ben attempts to break the window with a fire extinguisher, but he tosses it away upon realizing its fate. The room's columns heat up, while Zoe discovers a key in the extinguisher, and opens the window, and they realize the receptionist is actually a mannequin. The phone rings, and Jason answers to an automated message instructing them to follow the rules. When he drops the phone, the window shutters go up, and more heaters appear. Then Amanda started to have anxiety attacks because of burns on her neck. Meanwhile, the men struggle for clues as the room heats up. Zoe spots a hint on the coasters, presses 1, and opens an exit in the ducts. But it partially opens. They press coasters together to fully open the exit. Jason needs Mike's screwdriver and Amanda swaps with him. Jason opens another exit. The rest hold the coasters while Amanda goes through the vent. Zoe has another idea. She fills a glass with water and places it on the coaster, pressing it down. Amanda panics while crawling through the duct, having a flashback from her time in Afghanistan. She screams, alerting the others. Zoe hears her, and the rest urge her to go after Amanda. Danny and Ben try to fill the glasses with water but are half a glass short. Ben pours his liquor into the glass, and the exit opens. They escape just in time as the room ignites. They jump through the fireplace into the next room. Danny remains excited, while Amanda is scared and wants to leave. Meanwhile, Jason discovers another lock, and Danny tries to convince Amanda. Next, Zoe and Jason search for clues, and he discovers the first key for one of the locks on the door. Jason finds the second lock on the door, which requires a 7-letter word to open. They all attempt to figure out the word when Ben notices animal skulls on the wall. He has a flashback in which he's driving drunk with his friends. He suggests Rudolph, and it works. Jason opens the door, and they walk outside the house. The next room looks like it's actually outside, and it's really cold. Danny walks forward and hits his head on the room's wall. He falls onto the ice, hearing it crack. Despite this, he remains convinced the room is safe. Freezing air shoots through the vents, prompting him to urge the rest to search for clues again. Zoe discovers the phrase "True North" is a lie on a sled. Meanwhile, Mike finds a fishing rod. Ben tries to light a cigarette, and Amanda locates one coat, deciding they'll share it. She hands it to Zoe. Ben falls into a fishing hole, and Danny suggests there might be a clue in the water. Suddenly, Mike brings over the fishing rod. While others work on the puzzle, Zoe finds a compass in the coat pocket. Initially going north, she remembers the sled's message. Zoe discovers another clue in a stuffed bear's mouth and rejoins the group. Meanwhile, Ben walks away to smoke. Zoe attaches the clue, a magnet, to the fishing line, and Mike drops it back into the hole. Jason requests the coat. Mike feels something heavy on the rod. As they pull, they retrieve a frozen cube containing the key inside. Then, Jason requests Ben's lighter, Danny, to retrieve it. As Danny turns around, he falls into the water under the ice. The other desperately tries search for him, but he eventually drowns. Jason gives Amanda the coat, acknowledging that she was right. The game is real. Mike and the group blame Ben, thinking he's the game's master. Ben insults them, but Jason intervenes, emphasizing the importance of survival. He suggests they use their body heat to retrieve the key from the ice. The temperature drops rapidly. Jason has a flashback of himself on a boat with his friend wearing a red coat. Mike faints, but Jason manages to get the key out. They find the door and it opens. As they move toward it, the ice breaks, and they jump inside at the last moment. In the next room, everything is upside down. The room starts moving up, and when it stops, the phone rings. Mike walks underneath it, catching it in his hand. A deafening noise ensues, followed by music. Jason spots the door to the other room, but it's missing a doorknob. Mike realizes the pool table's 8-ball is missing and starts searching for clues. The noise returns, and Ben prevents him from falling as a piece of the floor collapses. Amanda climbs the bar and discovers a lockbox with 4 numbers. Zoe finds a sliding puzzle on the adjacent wall, and Mike helps her over the hole. While solving the puzzle, part of the floor collapses, nearly pulling Jason down. Ben leaps over. Zoe cracks the puzzle, revealing a code, but Amanda's attempt with the lockbox fails. Another part of the floor collapses, and Mike and Ben grab the puzzle to steady themselves. However, their weight causes it to tip over. Zoe falls to the floor, hitting her head. They all call out to her to get up, triggering a flashback of an airplane accident she was in. Jason wakes her up and helps her back to the wall. Zoe suggests Amanda try the code in reverse, and it works. Amanda finds the doorknob in the lockbox. Another floor section collapses. She leaps to the pool table but drops the doorknob. Amidst the chaos, she throws it to Jason, swings over a hole with the phone, and falls. Jason and Mike open the door. Ben helps Zoe into the next room, resembling a hospital. They all start looking around and realize the hospital beds look familiar. Those were their beds when they were in the hospital. Zoe checks another bed and discovers it was Amanda's. She was the sole survivor of an explosion. Zoe shares her own story too. Amanda survived a plane crash. Jason was the lone survivor of a boating accident where his friend went mad due to hypothermia. Ben survived a car crash, and Mike was the sole survivor of a mining accident where his brother perished. They link their accidents to the room items. Zoe finds Danny's documents. He was also a sole survivor. She concludes the game is about survival, determining the luckiest among them. The TV displays a countdown to escape. The men search for exits and discover X-rays, which Ben interprets as sign language for EKG. Zoe smashes the cameras to prevent continuous monitoring. Jason locates the poison set to release when the countdown ends and discovers the EKG machine, realizing the correct heartbeat will open the doors. First, Jason attempts with Ben's heart rate, but it doesn't work. He persuades Mike to try. Although Mike's heart rate is high, it's not high enough. Jason decides to shock him to raise it further. Unfortunately, the attempt proves fatal, and Mike dies. Zoe smashes cameras while Jason lowers his heart rate and opens the door. He leaves. Ben follows Jason through the vents, and the door shuts, leaving Zoe behind, suffocating to death. Jason and Ben reach the other room. Ben accuses Jason of not only killing Mike but also his friend on the boat. Jason insists that survival is a choice and continues searching for clues. He finds a hatch, and both of them open it together. They start hallucinating due to poison on the handle. The hatch puzzle instructs them to find an antidote. Ben finds it, but there's only one dose. A fight ensues, and Ben kills Jason, injecting himself and jumping into the other room, the same one from the film's start. The cleaning crew discovers 2 bodies in the hospital room. While Zoe wakes up, knocks them down, grabs a gun, and escapes. Simultaneously, Ben struggles with the code in the other room. Managing to escape through the fireplace, he enters a new space where a disembodied voice reveals that the game's master's bet was on Jason. The game's master appears, declaring Ben the winner. Ben confronts him, but the game's master explains the true purpose of the game. Wealthy individuals seek real-life, high-stakes entertainment. The game's master didn't expect Ben to win. He hands Ben a cigarette, attempting to kill him, but Ben turns the tables, stabbing him with a piece of wood from his leg. The monitor reveals Zoe and the man are still in the game. Zoe emerges and shoots at him, but he almost overpowers her. Ben intervenes, then shooting him. Together, Zoe and Ben exit the building. 1 day later, Ben is stable in the hospital, with Zoe by his side. A detective arrives and takes her to the Minus building, which is now surrounded by officers. Inside, all the rooms are gone, leaving no trace. The detective remains unconvinced about Zoe's escape room story due to the lack of evidence. Zoe notices the words "No Way Out" and realizes it's an anagram for Dr. Wootenyu. However, the detective disregards it, insisting they need to leave. Zoe deciphers the logo, revealing coordinates to a Manhattan building. She buys plane tickets for both of them. Ben reluctantly agrees. On the flight, a stewardess finds a clue in a bag, leading to a riddle. As they decipher it, they discover the pilots are dead. Despite the stewardess's attempts, the plane ultimately crashes. Suddenly, 2 people appear, revealing the plane accident was a simulation. A disembodied voice informs one of them that Zoe's and Ben's tickets were intercepted, and the game continues.